Good morning, fourth grade. Mrs. Culp here. I'm excited to help you guys get started with section 2 of your Native American book. I know Miss Herzog did a great job getting you guys started with your introduction, so I'm here to continue on with that. And today, Thursday, our goal is to have section 2 written. I'm going to go over the general structure that you would use when going from notes to the actual writing of each section. And then I'll model for you writing section 2 about the tribe that the teachers and I have chosen, a Cheyenne. And you can use that example to look back at as well. And then I will also give you directions for today and then Monday as well, when you'll continue working on your book and be writing section 3. When it comes to structuring your writing then for each section, there's a couple important things you want to keep in mind. First, you want to start off with a topic sentence that tells your readers what they can expect to learn from your writing in that section. Don't forget your transitional words or phrases that will connect your thoughts and make them smooth and make them go together in a way that makes sense and sounds right for your reader. And when writing your facts, so you'll start off 1 with that topic sentence, just to review what I just said, 2, transitional phrase or word, and then a fact, and that fact should come from your notes and be written in your own words. When adding the facts, you need to make sure of a few things. 1, that you group your facts together in a way that makes sense and sounds right. Because you collected all different facts, and you might say, just as an example here, you might have a fact about how they used horses here, and that's the first fact you wrote down. And then you wrote a bunch of other information, nothing to do with how they use horses. And the 10th fact you wrote down was, again, more information about how they use horses. Well, when you go to write your paragraph, you don't want to start off telling about how they use horses, tell about a bunch of other facts, and then talk about horses again. You're going to need to move that 10th fact that was that further additional information about horses up. And so you might start off with all the facts about how they use horses, group them together, all the facts about the next thing you wrote down. So that's why it's important to make sure that as you take your notes and start to write them in that paragraph format for that section, that not only did you start with your topic sentence, transitional word or phrase, that when you start writing your facts, that they're in your own words and they're grouped together in a way that makes sense and sounds right. They're organized well for your reader, so it's easier for them to learn and understand what you're teaching them, and that your facts truly are relevant. In other words, they teach about that section, okay? So if your goal is, like for us today in section 2, to teach about where your tribe's located, our facts really need to be and pertain to and teach about where they are located, okay? And then don't forget to wrap up your paragraph or paragraphs for that section with a conclusion sentence. Either wrap it up and explain, restate what your reader and your audience should have learned from that section, and or let them know what to expect in the next section, what they can expect to learn. Don't forget that you can refer back to this teacher book about the Cheyenne here as an example when writing each section. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. We're going to each be writing a section here during our videos and even for the off days, so that you could always look back here and compare it at the end to make sure you're on the right track. And of course, feel free to email your teacher or myself. We're all happy to help you, and would much rather help you and answer any questions as you're going along and working on it, rather than get done and think, wait, is this right? And then find out it's not right, or that you have to go back and correct it and fix it. So ask us if you have questions, okay? I'm going to now show you how I would start. So if this is section 2 and today I need to write it, I'm going to first look over my notes, and I highly suggest that is the first thing you do. So after watching this video, I would go back, find your notes from section 2 and reread them. So step 1, reread my notes from section 2. I'm rereading my notes. I see the Cheyenne were in Minnesota farming before Europeans came. They moved to the Great Plains after the Europeans showed them horses. So it's all about where they lived and moving from one location to the next here. And today, more recently, where they live today on reservations, the Northern Cheyenne in Montana, Southern Cheyenne in Oklahoma. Then I look at my second set of notes here from another source, and I see that it says that the guns from French traders that the Cree tribe used to fight the Cheyenne were powerful were too powerful for the Cheyenne, and the Cheyenne were losing the fight against the Cree tribe and had to move west. Okay. And then it says move to the area we now know as North and South Dakota. And it says again, guns were brought to use to fight against the Cheyenne now by the Sioux tribe, and that's what caused them to have to move towards the area close to the Wyoming's North Platte River. Okay, and the Wyoming there. Okay, the Great Plains. So I'm noticing if I had to come up with a topic sentence, okay, the Cheyenne, where they are located, their location had to change fairly frequently throughout history, is what I'm seeing in my notes here, because of other groups of people, whether it was a negative reason here with the guns and losing the fights against other tribes, or if it was maybe more of a positive where they were shown horses by the Europeans that allowed them to move to the Great Plains. So I think if I had to think of a topic sentence, I might start with that. Something like the location of the Cheyenne tribe is something that has changed throughout history. That is a great topic sentence in the fact for the reason that it teaches my reader, tells my reader what to expect. They can expect to learn how the location of the Cheyenne tribe changed throughout history. So if I'm going to make sure when I get to this slide, first read it and then delete it. So it says to tell about where your tribe is located, be sure to include more than just a state or country. In other words, don't just write one or two sentences saying the Cheyenne are located in the Great Plains and now they are located live on reservations. Done. Not okay. We need a little bit more than that. If you have to go do more research, then go do some more research, please. So I'm going to go ahead and if you feel like you don't want to delete it, you can always hit undo. You might just move it down, okay, and keep it there as a reminder. And then when you're all done, make sure you don't forget to delete it then, though. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to leave the reminder here from us, your teachers, so that I know what directions I had here on the slide, and then where they're located. Paragraphs, I'm going to use that tab key to indent, and my topic sentence. The location of the Cheyenne tribe has changed. Cheyenne has changed often or many times, because that's what I'm about to teach them about, or teach my audience, the readers, about. Changed many times throughout history. Now, let's look. The first fact here, and what I was saying, make sure you group them in a way that makes sense. I wouldn't want to talk about how guns caused them to move their location, then talk about how they lived here for farming, and then how the horses that the Europeans showed them caused them to move again, and then go back to about guns. So I might start off here because it seems like this was first here. I might say, before Europeans came, the Cheyenne were located in Minnesota, where they were known for their farming. Okay, so that's one fact. I'm going to go back to this. Now here, I might say I need a transition phrase or word. The location of the Cheyenne tribe, I reread my writing, has changed many times throughout history. Okay, the Cheyenne were, where I could start with before the Europeans arrived, right? To signal before, there's my transition word, before the Europeans arrived, I'll fix that in a second. The Cheyenne were located, and let me go back and check my notes. They were located in Minnesota, were farming in Minnesota, right? Yep, so I rewrote it in my own words. The European, before the before the Europeans arrived, the Cheyenne were located in Minnesota. Make sure I capitalize. Located in Minnesota, where they farmed, where they were known for they weren't really known for it. That's not the point of this section. Where they were farmed, where they were able to farm. Then what happens? Well, they move to the plains, so the Europeans come and show them, so I'm kind of using chronological order. The Europeans come and show them the horses, and it causes them to move to the Great Plains. Then that's when this takes place here, where we have the guns coming into play. So then I could talk about those two facts, and finish up with the most recent location. So I'm trying to kind of follow that chronological structure. Think about when we took notes. Originally, that lesson I taught you about section 2 was noticing text structure. Well, if the writers of the sources we read use a certain text structure to help organize their information, that's something we might want to keep in mind too. Okay, when you're looking at your different facts and how to group them in a way that makes the most sense, think about what kind of format or what kind of structure they were written in originally, and that might help you. I know Miss Herzog showed you an introduction from a book and said sometimes using an example like that can help you. You might go ahead and read some different sections about where your tribe was located to get an idea how professional authors organize that section. Then you could do that again when you write section 3. Look for some examples of sections on that same topic and how those authors organized it, and then use that to help you organize your own writing. So I noticed more of a chronological here. This was cause and effect, but I can integrate it and use it within my chronological structure. I see that it would fit in right here after the horses are shown. So I'm going to go back to this. And now that I came back to here, you can see what I have done here is added those facts in. So if you look at my notes, we had the facts then about them moving after the horses to the Great Plains, and then about the guns forcing them to move first to North and South Dakota, and then to Wyoming's North Platte River. Then lastly, where they live on reservations today, the Northern and Southern Cheyenne. You can see that here. What I did was I picked up here and I said next the Europeans came and introduced the Cheyenne to horses. This allowed them to move to the Great Plains. Unfortunately, and I'm transitioning then here into the negative reasons why they had to move, and I grouped all those reasons about guns together. I said unfortunately for the Cheyenne, guns were introduced by the French traders to other Native American tribes. The guns were too powerful for the Cheyenne in their fight with the Cree tribe, and because they were losing, they were forced to move west to North and South Dakota. Again, there's that transition word. Guns cause them to have to move locations, since again I'm using that keyword move location since the title of this section is where they are located. So I said move locations when the Sioux used them against them. This time they had to move close to the Wyoming North Platte River. And then I went on to say now, transition word, today you can find the Northern Cheyenne living on a reservation in Montana and the Southern Cheyenne on a reservation in Oklahoma. You can see how I combined those last two facts there from my first set of notes here into one sentence. Then I'm ready for my conclusion sentence. And I thought about, really, this whole section was how their location changed several times. So I could start by saying, as you can see, the location of the Cheyenne tribe has changed throughout history several times for different reasons. Wraps it all up. It's reminding the reader what they learned in this section, and it connects back to my topic sentence. You can see it connected back to that topic sentence, okay? So some things to keep in mind when you are writing your section. Topic sentence, well, first, back up. First, start by rereading your notes. Then think about how you might organize it. Feel free to look at other examples in resources or in mine. Then when you start to write it, topic sentence tells what your readers, they can expect to learn in that section. Transitional word or phrases. Make sure you use your facts from your notes in your own words and group them together in a way that makes sense and organizes them. And then end with that conclusion sentence that wraps it all up and connects it back to that topic sentence. Okay. Today you are responsible for writing section 2. So today, Thursday, you need to use your notes and write section 2. You can see that reminder here, and then your 20 minutes of reading and record or log it on the calendar. Tomorrow is our virtual field day. I hope you have fun with that. And then come Monday, you'll have a math lesson. It'll be an off day for language arts, no new lesson, but you do have an assignment. And that assignment on Monday, to be clear, is to use your notes and write section 3 based on the same way that we learned to structure section 2. Topic, sentence, facts, with transition words, conclusion sentence. Feel free to refer back to here. I will have section 3 typed in here as well, so you can look at that. and then you're reading 20 minutes. Okay?